Hi guys, it's Belle here and this is episode 5 of the little golden book tutorial. This little golden book, if you don't know, I am making it so that I can document the first year, maybe a bit more, of my new kittens that I got last November's lives in our family. So yes, so in the last video we put in some vellum pockets and stitched all the lovely fabric to the sides, and I just went ahead and trimmed all that and got it all like neat-ish. I like threads hanging and things, so that doesn't bother me too much. But yeah, so I went ahead and did all that, and we also added trim to the front and the inside cover, and as I said, some vellum pockets. So today's video, we're going to start with the thing I dislike most about making journals, and that is we are going to bind in the signatures. I hate doing this. It's my least favorite bit. Oh, I always find it such a struggle. And that thread's still a bit long. So I'm going to use my wax threads. So this is my sewing kit. I've got my awl, needles. I'm going to choose, I don't know whether I want sometimes I do them different colours, sometimes I do them one particular colour. I want to see what colours. I don't have a ton of different colours, like I mainly have greens. I do have red. I do have purple, which would be quite nice, but I kind of wanted a brighter colour. I do have this blue, but that's almost not right. So I'm just going to check. I know it's boring, but I might just go with this colour. Do I have one already opened? Got this one. Don't like that. I do have white. I don't tend to use white. Let's see what I think of that, shall we? Because I don't tend to use white. Now, I was wondering, could I colour this with inks? I don't know. But let's have a look how white would look down here. That wouldn't look too bad. So I'm going to do white. So you need about, I normally do 3 lengths. And we're going to need 4 of those. They're not exact. Now, if you want to have dangles in the middle, I would normally do 3.5. Just so it gives you options to play with and how long you want to have dangles. I'm not having dangles from this one because I'm making a tassel to go on the end. Next thing you're going to need to do once you've picked your threads and cut them to size is you're going to need to cut a piece of paper or card, paper's easier I find, to the size of your actual spine. So this would be 3 by 6. As you see, it fits perfectly. Then what I like to do is I like to fold it in the middle. Normally I will do 3 signatures, so folding it in the middle will show me where the middle signature needs to go, and then I can kind of do a signature either side. I've made life difficult for myself as someone who hates numbers. I literally struggle with numbers, like so badly. I've done 4 signatures on a 3-inch spine. So I think what I always keep in mind, hold on, let me show you. Okay, so this is another little golden book that I made a couple of years ago for Christmas. This was a Christmas and December daily. Let me move you out a little bit so you can see better. Sorry if that makes you feel a bit sick. Okay, so what happens is, because obviously I've got 3 signatures in here, you can see. What happens is, you can see it already, depending where you put the signatures, they need as much room either side to grow. So you can see the middle signature has the same amount of room if you're filling it to grow either side. These 2 signatures only had room on this side, and then these sides are much flatter and much harder because I've actually put the signatures too near to this. So this grew out, not leaving enough room for these signatures to also fill out. So realistically, I should have actually moved the binding over slightly. So let's say on this side, on the outside of your signature, you give each of them 1/2 inch. Realistically, you need to give an inch in between, because that will give 1/2 inch for this one and 1/2 inch for this one to grow. Does that make sense? That's what I found while binding signatures. Oh my gosh, that is so heavy. So that's what I found whilst binding signatures. However, this is going to be a bit different. So I'm going to leave this here. So just pause it if you want to have a look. I've done 1/2 inch to here, either side. Then between this dot and this dot is 3/4 inch. And then in the middle is 5/8 inch, just to make life for someone who hates maths really hard. And then either side. And then you do the same at the top, because you're going to line them up. So I'll show myself doing that. And the other thing you want to do is you want to actually say which is your top and which is your bottom. So I've got my ruler here. So it's 1/2 inch either side, which is here. This is really hard because the light's on it. And then in between, it's 3/4 inch. 3/4 inch, which would make it here. Does that seem right? Apparently it is, so I'm just going to go with it. And then this should be 5/8, which I don't know if it is. Let me just recheck this. Yep, that's 3/4 inch. And yep, that's 3/4 inch. So let me recheck. 1/2 inch, 3/4. 1/2 inch, 3/4. So it must be, even though this down here looks bigger. Okay, this is what I mean. I absolutely hate maths. Watch the struggle. Watch me struggle. So 1/2 inch. Yeah, that's definitely 1/2 inch. And that's definitely 1/2 inch. And then 3/4 is here. Right, that was in a slightly different space. Right, that makes more sense now. Let's make these nice and dark so I know which ones I'm using. And again, I've put a T with an arrow because that's going to be the top. So now we're going to line these up and just mark a line down it. Honestly, let's do this flat. It would help, wouldn't it? I really, really hate binding. I know there's a way you can like attach signatures where they can come out so you don't have to use the thread like this. But I'm going to be honest, because I do a lot of heavy use of my journals, I don't like doing that. I like binding them. I'm not going to remove signatures because they've been done for specific things. So I'm not going to remove the signatures. So it really doesn't bother me in that way. But there are other ways you can do it if you really hate binding. That does not look straight as much. That really does not look straight. If you really hate binding as much as I do. Thank goodness this journal's for me. That's all I can say. This is why I prefer doing 3 signatures or 2 signatures. Make life easy on yourself. So again, you'll see these signatures are slightly wider than these ones, with the reason being that that I want more room to grow either side. Okay, so we've got that now. So now the way I get it, we're just doing a simple 3-hole pamphlet stitch to this. So I'm going to fold it in the middle. And that will show me where the middle holes need to go. I'll just put a mark so you can see them a bit better. And then I do, I don't know, about an inch maybe. Is that an inch? Yeah, that's about an inch from top and about an inch from the bottom. Bearing in mind, if you've got lots and lots of smaller pages, you're probably going to want to do a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. I tend to not to do those, but that is an option. There are plenty of tutorials on that. Right, so now I'm going to get something underneath so that I can use my awl, and I'm just going to poke through those holes. Actually, doing this, what am I doing it on there for? You can do it that way, but we're actually going to do it on the book. Oh, I tell you, seriously, doing this on camera when this is my least loved bit. So line it up with your spine, and then I'm going to use a clamp of some sort to hold it in place. Again, making sure that it's lined up, that it's flat, so press your hand across it, and that the top is at the top where it's supposed to be. Then let's get something like a glue book or something soft that you can press, and we're going to press all the way through. And this takes a little bit of, you know, elbow grease, as they used to say. A little bit of muscles to really get it all the way through. And then, yeah. So that you get it all the way through the spine as well. And depending how thick your spine is, depends how hard you have to press. Yeah. Ugh, anything to do with numbers, guys. Honestly, it was my most hated class at school. And then I like to then just go through them again. Once this is off, just give it a good press through so that they're nice and there's no obstructions, because obviously when you're then stitching, it just makes it easier to be able to get your needle through. As for needles, I don't know. I just pick ones that I think I prefer the thinner ones to some degree, just because in that way it doesn't leave as big a hole, you hope, through the stuff. Right. So this is the first signature. Now, the first thing you want to do when you're putting your signatures together before you stitch it in is make sure everything is where you want it to be. That's not too hard with these because nearly all the pages are the same. Then hold it down in the middle so you're really pressing in that spine, and then you can do this a couple of ways. Because these are quite thin, I'm going to use these large paper clips to just hold it in place. One each side, again making sure I'm pressing, because you want everything, all the middles of the papers, to be lined up. So yeah, so you want to do that. Make sure everything's the way it's supposed to be. All the middles are together. Yeah, you can use clamps for bigger journals with more pages. Now, again, this is easier if you use the middle, which is what I'm going to do. By that, I mean, if you've folded your thing up in the middle, it's just easier to put it in your journal. So I'm just going to add another set of holes here in the middle so that I can put this through the journal. Okay. And then again, make sure you've got the top bit at the top. You're going to make sure the bottom and the top match the bottom and top of your journal. I like to hold it. You can, if you want, put the paper clips there too. I like to just hold it, but this is what you can do. And then again, you're going to get your awl. I like to close it so that I know I'm getting the middle. I know that I've seen other crafters who have like things that you can put your journal into, but again, I'm just putting it with the hole is my awl, closing it up, making sure that I'm getting the spine of my papers. So that's that done. Let's get a needle and let's get our first journal in. I don't know what size these needles are. They don't say anything. It just came with the kit that I bought when I first started journaling. As I said, I like to use the thinner one. We're going to get that in there as such. Don't forget to remove this. You don't want to stitch this into your journal. And I am saying I have done that before. Again, make sure everything is the right way up. Make sure your pages were the right way up. Make sure your cover's the right way up. Make sure your signature is the right way up. And I am going to start with the middle. And again, I close it up. And you're going to have a little string here. Now, if you want to add charms and tassels, you're going to want that to be longer. I'm not as bothered about that. And I just attach that. You can hold it. I normally attach it under whatever's holding my pages together. I'm going to go into the middle signature like so. And then I'm going to go up to the top hole. This is where you hope you've done the hole well enough. Poke the needle through. You can see the journal's still quite loose at the moment. And then we're going to go through the top hole in your signature, hoping everything's still matching up so that it's nice and easy. If not, I tend to stick the awl back in and have my needle follow the awl through. This is why I do not want to do this on camera, because I absolutely hate, and I can't see very well. Hold on guys, because I can't see from where I am, and you don't want the top of my head in shot. Why is that not going through? Obviously there's going to be a disaster because I'm doing it on camera. Right, which one's it not going through? It's going through that. You can do this as well. You can open your pages. You can look at where the holes are. There it is. There it is. Right. Oh, gosh. Drama. Okay, so we're going to do that. And now I'm going to go back through this middle hole, which should be easier because there's already a thread. Making sure you're not going through the waxed thread itself. So you want to make sure you don't go through the other piece of thread. If you do, just pull your needle back out, pull the thread out, and do it again. And we're going to go through that one. Again, making sure that's being held. And then we're going to go through the bottom one. Hopefully this is all on camera. So you can see I moved the journal around quite a lot. This is not the most professional way. There are probably lots of other tutorials out there where you will get it much easier. But see, that went through no problem then. It was just the top one that wanted to play up. Okay, so this is where you want to be, making sure, I'm going to take the needle out because I don't want to stab myself, that everything is really nice and tight. So I'm going to do this because I need more here. Okay, so you need to make sure everything is really nice and tight, signatures all in. Then I like to put it underneath on both sides. So I've come in, let me show you that again. So we've got this loose thread, I'm going to go in here underneath, and then we've got this loose thread and I like to go under that, and then I really like to tighten, and I'm going to do a knot. I really tighten it. And then if we do that, there's our first signature sewn in. Now, I'm also going to use one of these to hold this together whilst we do the next ones. So, where did my needle go? Because I always lose my needles when I do this. Oh, Belle, where did you put your needle? There it is. Okay. So, same thing again. Second signature. Make sure everything is the right way up. Make sure all your pages are where you want them to be. So I'm going to have this one brought down a little bit. Everything's where it should be. Everything's neat top and bottom. Put this in the middle with the top, with the T going here. Holding it in place whilst also pressing down the spines so all the spines are meeting. And then get our needle. And we're going to go through the process again, like it wasn't stressful enough the first time. Okay. Oh no, we don't need this. Why do we need this? What am I doing? We've already... No, we haven't made the holes. I knew I needed it. Okay, this video is going to be chaos. And we're going to make the holes. Now, what might be nice to do is to do this the first time. Just do all the holes in one go. And get everything already in place with paper clips so that it's kind of like a production line. Remove these, holes are in, got my needle going in the middle one, making sure I've got a tail, tucking it underneath, or you can hold it, tucking it underneath that to hold it in place. Going through, making sure it's the right set of holes. This is where a lot of things can go wrong, guys. Pulling it through the middle one, then going to the top one, whilst holding the top journal out of the way. It's why it's easier sometimes to work from the back of your journal to the front of your journal. Then going to go through the top hole here. Let's hope this, that one went through lovely. Pull that through. Going to go back through here, the middle signature, the middle of the signature. I like to pull it through first, make sure there's no catching, and then we're going to go through the middle hole again. Make sure I haven't gone through any of the thread. Yeah, I move my journal around a lot when I'm doing this. Then through the bottom one. The bottom hole. The bottom hole of the spine. Then through the bottom hole of your signature. Oh, that's gone straight through as well because I can feel, because it pressed against the paper clip. Woohoo! Right, that was much easier that time. I'm not jinxing myself. Again, I need more, so I'm going to pull this. I need more of a tail here. I'm going to put my needle where I can find it because I'm filming and I don't have time to keep going, where's my needle? Where's my needle? Put it underneath, both of the loose ends underneath. Tighten, really pull them. Then do a knot. You can do a double knot. That's often good. I like to do a single knot to begin with because I like to know that if I need to go back through, there's not an issue. underneath this way. And again, like even with 3-hole pamphlet stitch, journal makers will have slightly different things they do, or different ways that they do the hole. Like they might start with the bottom hole first, like middle to bottom and everything. So everyone has their own little ways of doing things. This is just my way. So now we have the signatures in. They seem to be at a slight angle. I'm not that bothered. They're definitely at a slight angle. I did not line that up very well, did I? It doesn't actually matter too much when you're looking at it head on. So anyway, signatures all in. And now what I like to do is you go through. So you're just flattening down the pages. Let me get this in place. Like it's fine on this side, because you want the pages to get used to being moved backwards and forwards. It'll be fine on this side. It's also a good way to then check that everything's where it should be. And then when you come to the other side, when you're closing, press it really well. Again, just so it gets used to moving in that direction. Help flatten the pages into position. And it makes sure that you can double check all of your pages and that they're all okay. And that everything's attached. So again, pressing down. And I'm doing this. There we go. They're pressed, they're ready to move, and look, it just looks so pretty. You will find, depending on what trims on the outside and what fabrics, sometimes they kind of like attach underneath the pages. So like this one here, you see there's a bit of card where the stitching was, sometimes likes to attach under that. Just re-glue it so it's firm. This one's doing the same thing, look. Just pull it and re-glue it. But look how pretty that looks. Just look how pretty the top looks. I like the white on there. And we have these extra threads. You see what I'm saying? Now I use 3 times and I don't think most of those are long enough to add charms to. So I would do 3.5. Let's put this all away and we're going to get on to the much more fun aspect of journal making. And we're going to get on to decorating. So for what you'll need for this is, I also made lots of die cuts, so let me show you. I just die cut lots in pastel colours that went with the book, and I have this little pack full of all sorts of bits and bobs, and I've got all my papers obviously, so we're going to grab the papers because we're going to make some pockets and tucks. Hold on. And things like that. Let me get the papers. Pockets and tucks. Right. Sorry, I just hit you. I'm going to bring you down a little bit anyway. Okay. So, right, we're going to get on with pockets. So, like this would be a really great place for a pocket, but actually what I wanted to do was, I have a die, an embossing die that makes these photo frames. Have I got it here? Let me see if I've got it. No. So as you can see, it's kind of embossed on both sides. You can see the debossing better. But what I thought would be really cute is if I actually was able to match it up on here and put it on so that it would be a pocket for a photograph. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, because obviously these are about my kittens. I'm going to make it, do I want it a top or a side photo? Do you know what? It'd be easier to get it in on the side. So let's just go around the edges. Come on, glue. It's going to be one of those days today, isn't it? Hold on. It's just going to be one of those days. You know why this was? It's because I was meant to film yesterday, but I was waiting all day for a phone call. They were meant to be phoning between 8 in the morning and 12 in the afternoon. So I got everything set up to film that afternoon, and I waited and I waited and waited, and it was an important phone call that we've been waiting for. And 4 o'clock in the afternoon, they called me. 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Now I really have to think about where this is going to go, because I'm trying to get it to match up. Obviously, you might not have this. You might not have the die. That's fine. You could just cut out a frame. You might have a different kind of frame die. You might just be able to cut out a rectangle and cut the middle out. And then what's going to go in there is obviously a photo can just pop in there. And I don't want to put any acetate or anything to make it bulky. And I'm just going to leave that to dry, and it just blends in. And you might think, well, why do it so it blends in? But I like it. That's the only answer I can give you. Now here's super cute, because there's not much on this page, and we might want to add something to this page. So what we could do is we could add, again, this is a die cut that I have, but you could literally just cut out like a triangle of paper. You know, just literally cut across a corner. And the thing is, if I put that there, then if we've got something like, say, this Project Life card, it can just tuck in. And it's not taken away from here, and we could still write on this bit. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, I've got these in blue and in yellow. Too much yellow. The blue would be too much with the blue over here, so we're going to do pink because it's a bit of a contrast colour. So we're not going to get everything done today. I think there's going to probably be a second decorating video, because we obviously did the binding. Oh dear. So I'm just doing the edges of this. I love using die cuts in my journals. I don't think enough people do that. I was huge into making cards and pocket letters, so I have a lot of dies, and when I started making journals I just thought, well, I still have to use them because I have them, so let's do it. So yes, we have this little card which would look so pretty in there, or you could put another photo in there. So that's just another way to add interest, especially to a page like this. Look, that blends so well with that, you wouldn't even know unless I kind of really press it out. It's just another way to do that. This is already a tuck here. I could glue it so that it was a bit firmer, because again, if we use this, like if I just glued it down the sides, but then I might want to use it for a bigger piece. So I think I'm just going to add a little extra glue to it, but just underneath where the stitching is. So I'm just going to glue that bit just to make it a bit firmer. And now what you could do to this, you could add a fabric trim if you wanted to. I do have a video where I make those. I'll leave it down below where it can show you what you can do with fabric bits and bobs, and one of those would go really nicely there. But what I was also thinking is, again, I've got another die cut piece. And wouldn't that look nice just across the top of there? And if we wanted to, we could just stick it on 3 sides and make it into an extra tuck spot, which I may do. I want to see which one I've got. I've got a smaller one. I've got this little one with holes. I'm just having a look. I don't want to use them all on here, but I just think that adds a bit of colour. So that's what I'm going to do. But I'm actually going to put the glue on here, because if I want to make it into an extra tuck area, it just makes sense to put it on the envelope bit itself rather than on the die cut. I'm going to turn it this way so that I can see it easier. And I'm going to stick that down like so. Really press it down with my fingers like so. And then that's just 2 little decorative places. You might have a punch you could do this with if you don't have a die cut. You might have those fun scissors that cut in shapes. You may just have a nice pattern on a piece of card. Or, let me show you, like these are some bits and pieces that came with scrapbook kits. I also have, where are they? So you can get pre-cut die cut pieces such as these. So I'm going to use some of these as well. Like I've had these for ages, I might as well use them up. So if you don't have the die cut, you may have something else you could use instead. Use what you have, guys. Use what you have. So I'm going to get those out so I remember those. So where did that little card go to? Let's just grab another one. So again, tuck spot here. Paper's all just falling. Stay up. Tuck spot here. Tuck spot here. And an extra little tuck spot just there. There you go. On there we've got 3 tuck spots and place to write and put photos. Remember, this for me is memory keeping, so that's why I like to do that. We could come and decorate here. If we wanted to use something like this again, we could literally put one on top. You can have another tuck spot, or when you turn it over, which I might do, you could have a tuck spot there. It depends how you're going to use your journal. Don't need any more decorating on there. On a page like this, because you don't want to put it down here because you wouldn't be able to see the writing, you could actually put a tuck spot just up the top, such as that, which I may do in another page. You still get most of the image, you get the writing for the page, but you can add another tuck spot. I'm going to run out of these, I've realised, because I really like using these. And that is another perfect way to add another little tuck spot. But I don't have loads of them. I didn't die cut a lot of them out, so I need to think carefully about where I want to put them. Not going to put anything here, but I am going to put a pocket here. So let's use up some of the card we've got. So I've got some of this fun card. This would be good in a pocket. I have this one, which would also be very, very nice in a pocket. I think I'm going to go for this one, you know. Okay, so again, I don't do perfect measurements because, as you heard earlier in the video, I don't like maths. So I'm just going to measure it on the page. Going to trim that down. And now, so what I also want to show you on one of the other pockets, I won't do it on this one, but on one of the other pockets, I want to show you how I make my little hidden pockets that have magnets. And there are other ways you can do it if you don't have magnets. Now, I'm also going to use my large punch just to make, because I like how a notch looks. Now, again, don't just look at it and think, let's just have one pocket. You know, you can make another pocket on there so that it's a double pocket. You can make a hidden pocket. You could make a smaller, everything's falling and it's irritating me. So I'm just going to move it and move the papers. There's something in front of the papers. You could make a small pocket so that it just looks like that. We're just going to make the basic pocket for now, so that we have a pocket for this page. And it means I can write behind the pocket, and then I can put 2 or 3 tags and photos in the pocket, giving me again extra space in this particular signature, because in this signature we're losing space because we've got the book pages that I don't want to put stuff on. But again, look at this book page. I could quite easily put another tuck down there. We're not losing any of the page whatsoever, really. And we could put a little tag on there. So I'm going to end up needing more of these, because I feel like that's what I want to do a lot of, is things like that. And I do have a lot of cards and things to use. So do, yeah, I might have to do more of these. We have got a blue. I think I like that. And then, yeah, we can put another card in there. So we're losing the page as is. Oh, this one's perfect, though. We're going to do it this side. I actually prefer doing pockets on the inside page, not on the outside pages. So I'm going to do one there. That's a lot of blue again. Let's have some yellow on this one. And again, it's another little pocket that I can put another little tuck spot. I mean, realistically, where we've stitched, if you don't glue it down, that could also be a tuck spot if I really needed it to be. I hope you're getting this. I hope I'm not going too fast. I'm trying to keep an eye on time whilst also trying to get some decorating done. So yeah, these little things, as I said, you don't need to have this die. You can use other ways of doing it. You could use other kind of dies. If you have something like this kind of die, which I am going to use, you could use that in half. We might do that on another page just to show you. So again, we've got space here. I don't think I'm going to want a pocket here, but I do want a pocket here. So now I'm going to make sure, because this is nice and tight, I'm going to tie another knot. I'm going to put a little bow like such, and I'm going to cut off the excess because this is the middle of the signature. Okay, so here, because I don't like the fact that it has the images that it does, there are two options here, so I can show you both possibly. So I want to put a large pocket here. I'm just looking at my pockets and what I've got cards off. So we've got this large one that we didn't use, and I really want to make sure I get the cat on there. So this is where I am going to have to measure. This is about 5.5. So if I did a 5, if I do 5, so because I mainly want the cat, because obviously this is a cat journal, I'm going to put it and just cut it where the cat is, and then I'm going to turn that around and do 5, which means we do get most of the cat, well, all the cat actually, which is really, really good. Got these pieces left, and then let's measure it lengthwise. And again, I'm just going to put it on here. I like a bit of a border around mine. Also, if you are going to put it in the middle, don't butt the card right up to the middle of the signature, because it will make it hard to open and close, and it will make it hard when you're putting things in and out if it's butted right up. So I've just measured that. Let's chop on this. And there we go. Oh, we cut that cat's ears off, but I can use this bit. And I can actually use that bit on there if I wanted to, as another pocket. And I'm wondering if I want to. And I think I do. So I'm just going to measure that. I mean, that flower's lovely. I mean, that flower is lovely. But I'm going to add an extra pocket because I like adding as many tucks, pockets and things like that as possible to journals, because I do use them. And again, you saw, I didn't measure that. I just worked out where I wanted it on my thing. And I'm going to add, again, a little notch, just so you know. I'm not, if you've noticed, I'm not inking any of this. Inking it would make it more visible, which is fine, but I'm not doing that. So I'm going to add this first, and I'm going to have it as a side tuck. So I'm going to put the notch up here, because why not? That's what I say. Always hold the side that you're not gluing. So obviously I want this side free of glue. So hold this and then glue the other sides. I'm not particularly careful with the glue. I probably could be. I normally am when I'm making a journal off camera. And I'm moving that up a bit. Again, I haven't buttered it. Let me show you. I haven't buttered it right up until where the spine is. I don't care that there's that bit of paper showing. It doesn't bother me. But there's this here. So you need to give room for the spine to be able to open and close. So we've got a side tuck there. It covers up that piece of writing that has nothing to do with the cat. Again, hold it. And again, it's easier to remember sometimes if you put the notch on the side, obviously, that's going to be open, because then you can just hold it where the notch is. And then I'm just going to add this little pocket here. And again, we could make it a bit more decorative. We could add some of one of these. I haven't even opened these. Okay, let's just find out where to open them this way. Let's have a look at what we've got. Unfortunately, I've only got them in pink, and there is a lot of pink. You can have some flowers. I mean, that one's really pretty, but most of it's going to be cut off. This is pretty down the bottom. That is pretty. I was also wondering, I have some of this tape. It's like paper tape, and it's got paw prints on it, but I don't like that. And I have some of these, which are really nice too. I quite like the yellow on that. And again, I could have this so that it's another tuck spot, like almost like a mini belly band. I do really like that, actually. But I'm just thinking it might look nice down the side. See, this is where things get difficult, because I can take my time whilst decorating. I'm going to leave it for now, but we have a tuck spot here. And we have a tuck spot here. So over this side, what you can do is, I could easily make another pocket, but that won't cover up the whole elephant. So instead, grab a piece of paper. I think I'm going to go this greeny blue. You can grab a piece of paper. And what I like to do is to stick it on as that. I could add a belly band there, but again, you're going to see a lot of the elephant. So I'm just going to, normally I would just rip it so that it's a bit rough. I'm just going to mark out again. I'm leaving a border and top it off, and it covers up those pages that you don't want. You can gesso it. I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to add my paper, just because that's what I want to do. So yeah, and then if it is dyed, I always try and look for which side I like best, and then we're just going to glue that down. Oh, still fabric on that glue. There's all over my hand. Go away, go away. I know I do get asked a lot of questions. What do you do first? And how long does it take you to make a journal? I've been asked that a lot. And as I always say in my reply, it really depends on the journal. So on this journal, as you saw, I worked out what the cover was going to be first. And then that influenced me as to what signatures were going to look like, and also what papers. Well, I mean, everything should go together anyway. You should work out what kind of journal you want to be making, what theme of journal you want to be making, find all your bits and bobs for it. That's what can take the longest, you know, is finding everything. I can take a good day or two to find all the papers I might need, vellums, any vintage pieces, which I always use, go through my books. I do try, or what I've started trying to do is, if I get a new vintage book and it's a miscellaneous one, I will try and go through it and see if there's any certain themes, like all my cat papers. I'll rip those out and put them with all the other cat bits and bobs. So there you go. So now we've covered up the elephant. We've got a double pocket here. Come back. We've got a double pocket here, and we've got writing space here. We could also, if we wanted, I'm not going to, but we could also use something like a banner to make it an extra. I mean, that does look pretty now I'm looking at it. That does look very pretty. But I'm just going to, oh no, now I do like the banner. See, that's the problem. You start looking at things and that can go under like that. So am I going to do that now? Yes, yes I am. Okay. So yeah, again, if you haven't got one of these die cuts, just cut a banner shape out of some card. This is embossed textured card in, again, pastel colours. I never usually use unless I'm using it for Halloween. And I'll let that dry and we can come back and decorate that. So yeah, we've got all these tuck spots now. Look, tuck, right in space, tuck, tuck. That's what I like. Don't need to do anything there. What I could do is you can put one of these down the edge and you could make it into a tuck. So let's do that because I've said you could. Let me show you. Again, you can just use card. I think I'm going to use one of these because I've got them. I've got this nice blue one because I don't want to use all the yellow. And that would literally go down there. Let's mark that off. I could make it into a belly band, which might actually be quite nice. Should we do a belly band, guys, rather than another tuck spot? Let's do that. But as I was saying, yes, so the way I create is, it will depend. I often start with, I know maybe what fabric, or if I'm doing a hardback, what kind of cover I want to do. So I will start off with the theme, and whether that theme like a design team kit as well will tell me the theme. But like, I knew this one was going to be for my kittens. So I wanted lovely bright colours, I wanted a fun cover, and then once I'd found the little golden book, then I knew what kind of colours I wanted. Then I went through and found all those, then I put the signature together. So that is now a belly band. I think I'm going to leave that page because we've got a lot of pockets here and we've got another large pocket here. Again, I could use one of these. It's going to cover up the word paint though. I don't want to stick them on the stitching because that just makes it harder to stick down. So we've got quite a few pockets. We've got this. I'm going to put another one on there. Pocket, not a pocket. Could put a pocket on that side. That's got trim on it. I try not to put pockets where we've got trim. On the side of trim. I do sometimes, obviously, but I try not to. Okay, so let's do a slightly different pocket here. Do I like that one? I'm trying to look for all the cards and everything. I've got the pink, that's a bit too much pink. Trying to look, where's the other one? We have got the black and white on this side, which might be quite nice. So I'm thinking of doing, well, I could do a triangular tuck on here, which I think I'll do. So again, I'm just measuring. I don't want it all the way to the spine, so I'm going to do that. So yeah, work out your theme first, and then I'm going to make it quite a large one. So I'm just going to see where the end is. So this is where the end of the page would be. So I'm going to put that on my guillotine paper trimmer, and I'm going to cut across, which leaves another triangular bit for another piece. So that would go there really nicely now. But obviously it's a bit boring. It is, let me hear you say it, just the one pocket. And if we know anything by now, we know I don't like the one pocket. So I'm going to first of all measure the length of this, which goes here. Trim that. Why have one pocket when you can have 2 or 3 or 4? I'm just going to make it a bit smaller, again making sure I'm measuring up with that end piece so that I know it definitely goes to the end, which can be trickier than it seems. And yes, as for decorating's normally what I do last, as I'm doing here. Yeah, that'll do. I mean, I could do a third pocket. We're not going to. Do I want a bit more of that off though? That's what I'm wondering. I think I do. I want to see more of that black and white underneath. Okay. Yeah, decorating's always what I do last, but I'll have to be honest, I often get my signatures together first. That's often my first thing. As long as I've already got the fabric put aside for the pocket. I mean, we could do it that way around, couldn't we? And it would look like that, which would also be quite nice. Let's do this for now. Yeah, so I work out my theme, get my kit, if I'm using a digital kit, get my digital kit all printed out so that I know the colours, so that I know the images that are in the digital kit. I really like everything to go together as well as possible. It doesn't always work out, but that's what I like. I like coordination. So I will look at an image. I will then go and get everything ready. I will track down stamps that I think will go with that theme. I will look at my papers, as I said. I will look at my pages. All that kind of thing is what I will look at. Then I will normally get my signatures together. Then once they are together, I will put them to one side and then I will work on the cover. And then once the basic of the cover, so like, you know, the basics of the covers come together so that it's in one piece, but I haven't done the front of it, then I will bind the signatures in, having done any stitching before that happens, as I did with this one. And then I get to decorating, and only when everything is decorated and finished and completed and stenciled do I then finish the cover, if there is going to be something on the cover. Right, so we have a double tuck spot. Let me get my little card here. Why is that bent? No, there, like so. See, now I could put a pocket here even though there's some fabric, and then we've got that, and then we're at the end of the journal. So I feel like I might want another pocket there, but I might just leave it for now and we can come back to it. So that is the first signature sort of done. So let's have a quick look through. We've got this bit here that I can put a photo into. We have a tuck here. We have a tuck here. We have a tuck here. We open it up. We've got a whole piece here anyway that we did beforehand. Then we have a large pocket here. That was one of the vellum pockets that we made. Nothing here. Could put something there. Pocket here. Little tuck here. Then center of the signature. Tuck here. Tuck here. Put some paper down, tuck, oh gosh, under here, belly band there, large pocket here, nothing there, double tuck here, and then end of the book. So I really do feel like I do want another pocket or something here. Oh, and also I have a few other bits. So I have in here, let's have a look. I have some of these, I have some bags. I really need to get everything out. So I have these mini bags that actually recently came in some, an order, with an Etsy order, which I thought would be a lot of fun to put in as a side tuck or here, which wouldn't work because of the fabric, but it would go in very well as a side tuck. I mean, if I wanted, I could make it into a pocket because this is quite large. And we could have it down. And I could put something here to hold it on. So I might do that to remind myself. And that would go there. We've got some green here, which I really like because of the green pom-pom trim. It really picks up the colour in the other page. So I'm going to do that. I don't know if I'll make this into or what. But we are going to make this into a side tuck. Pocket there. There's still plenty of space to write because that's what I'm trying to remember. I'm going to be sticking lots of photos in here. Yeah, I'm going to be sticking a lot of photos in. So let's put this in as a side tuck. Again, holding the side, I don't want to glue. Just going to glue it on 2 sides. Like so. And then, ooh, just put my fingers all over that because of course I did. Literally, if there was one little bit of glue or paint or something in the area, it's going to somehow find its way onto me. And there we go. Now we have, let's take a larger Project Life card. Now we have a side tuck there, which is brilliant. And obviously there's a tuck inside. And what am I going to say to you? Yes, you can make another pocket on here. Or that could be left to have a photo on it, depending what you want. Actually, on this one front, it's been bothering me that it's a bit bland. So I do have, again, just some die cut, and I was wondering that would kind of go on there quite well, actually. And I could make it into a little tuck, a little pocket. Yeah, I could make it into a little pocket. So let's do that. So, yeah, holding it where I'm not gluing. Come on, out you come. And then just gluing that down, making it into a little tiny tuck spot. And it just also breaks up some of that very, very colourful pattern a little bit. So we did that there. Granny's cat there. Again, this is something that I'd like just a bit of trim. You just want like a bit of decoration on. So I wish this was in another colour because that's a lot of pink. So I might have a look for something. I actually have this grass sticker. It's vellum. So I was going to put that somewhere. Do have this flower, but again, it's pink. There's a lot of pink. I don't mind some pink, but there's a lot of pink. I do have some of the edge of the paper. Again, it's pink. But that could go there to make that a bit different. We'll think on that because I feel like that needs something. That would have made a nice one too. This will make a nice belly band at some point in the journal. So I'm not quite sure how long I've been filming for now. So I think we'll leave it there and I will do another one where we do pockets and things and I show you bits and bobs because I think I've been filming for quite a while. But we have got quite a lot of pockets. We bound the journal. It's starting to take shape. It's starting to come together. It's looking yummy and delicious. And again, I'm keeping in mind whilst making this, I'm not sure what you will be making your journal for, but I know what I want to do this for, which does help when you're making a journal to keep in mind. I might do a little video actually about all this. Let me know if you'd be interested in that down below. I've already said quite a lot of it, but the process that goes through my brain when I'm making a journal. So I'm aware that I need to have a lot of space in here to journal, to write, to put photos, to put ephemera, to put pieces like that in. I feel like this is like boring too. I feel like I need another, yep. I just need another little die cut down there. The colour, like there just wasn't enough. It just was, it needed brightening up somehow. So I'm just going to do that. And this is what I mean. Like, I will go backwards and forwards through a journal and go, oh, no, yes, no, yes. I'm always in awe of journal makers who just put a journal together in a few days and just put everything down and don't go backwards and forwards the way I do. But there we go. There's another little tuck spot there. So that's it for now, guys. I will be back again with part 6, where we will finish up putting pockets in the journal. So there might be a few more parts to this than I thought, but I'm bearing in mind time. So for the next video, what you will need is your little bits and bobs or your papers again. So we're still making pockets. If you have magnets, grab some magnets, because I'm going to show you how to make some of those pockets. And also do any die cutting that you might not have done or that you want to, or shape cutting. I am going to pre-cut most of my pockets so that they're ready, so we can just stick them in, because that just saves time and I want to get it done. And then, yeah, that's what we're going to do in the next video, but I'll leave it there for now, and I will be back again very soon with the next part. Thank you so much for watching. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having lots of crafty fun. Bye for now.